Welcome to Lovemore Banda Live. I am Lovemore Banda. I hope I find you well. Our guest is an entrepreneur, philanthropist, and the Honorary Consul of the Sultanate of Oman in Zimbabwe. His Excellency Kamal Khalfan. Your Excellency, welcome to Lovemore Banda Live.
I am honored to have you here. It's been a long time since we met, so I'm very happy to see you here again.
It's good to see you too, looking as young as ever and as dapper. You must be one of the best dressed gentlemen in Zimbabwe.
I don't know about that. Maybe I look as young because I keep out of mischief.
We meet against the background of a new currency for Zimbabwe, the Zimbabwe gold. As a leading business person, how have you found it so far dealing with this?
Well, I can't make a judgment just yet because I've been out of the country for 6 weeks. I've only just come back. But one thing about the economy, I would like to say, because I've lived in many countries, when you have a change of Minister of Finance or Governor of the Reserve Bank, they come with their own policies. But it takes a long time before those policies turn out to be correct or not. Unfortunately, not only here, people generally think the economy, just like that, can change. It won't happen. And I hope here people would give time to this government to prove that this new governor of the central bank are doing their job, but it will take time. Not a month, not 2 months. The economy takes a long time to change. Why do you have, all over the world, you have the Minister of Finance for maybe 4 or 5 years, and some of them longer, and then they change, they have other Minister of Finance. They come with policies. That can go on for the next 40, 50 years. It's because it takes time for the economy to build up. And Zimbabwe, having gone through sanctions, it's been very, very difficult to come up. Very difficult. We're starting from zero. So just give them time, and I have a feeling that it will work out, but time will tell.
But you understand, of course, that the call to patience is a bit difficult for the consumer because they have to deal with the money on a daily basis.
I agree. This is the opposite. You cannot reconcile. The people of the street, they want instant change. The economy does not change instantly. It takes a long time. So there is, unfortunately, with suffering, or people have got to be very patient, but it's easier said than done, because we're not down there suffering like they do. So I can understand why they complain, but there's nothing government can do. They cannot change the economy just like that. No matter how good they are, no matter how smart they are, they need to be given time. Time will tell whether it's going to work out or not.
You represent the Sultanate of Oman in Zimbabwe. How are the relations?
Very cordial, and because Oman and Zimbabwe, we do not have, let's say, historical connections like Oman and Zanzibar, Oman, Tanzania, Uganda, Kenya, and so on. But a few years ago, when there was a serious drought here, Oman was only one of the 2 countries, third world countries, that donated $2 million worth of food relief. It was on television, in the newspapers, and I would tell you one thing, which is unfortunate. Some of the local papers here, and some of the international papers, they are giving such a bad image of this country. I've been trying to get Omanis to come here. When I mention Zimbabwe, oh, the police and the army, they shoot people on the street. I said, do you really believe that that's what you read in the papers? So people like that, why should they come here? So the media has been a problem for this country. And it showed pictures of what happened many years ago when they were rioting in Harare. But this is the image people have outside because of the papers. And I tell them, look, I live in Zimbabwe. Nobody sent me there. I don't work for anybody. I went out of choice. So that makes them think. But then I'm one voice against most of these papers, unfortunately.
How well are we doing in terms of trade?
With Oman, very, very little, because Oman historically has been with Saudi Arabia and Iran. It's very close. and Tanzania. Zimbabwe's problem is, well, it's not a problem site, but Zimbabwe is no sea coast. The transportation from Harare all the way to Beira, all the way to Maputo, or all the way to Dar es Salaam, that increases the cost of the product. It can be done, but it's not as easy as other countries where they've got a seashore where it can be transported just like that. So the distance from the sea is a bit of a problem here, but it will overcome, because we are still getting people coming in now. Recently, there's been people from UAE, I believe, and Dubai. They've shown interest, and that will help, because they can see Zimbabwe is not what they read in the papers. This is a wonderful country.
What is your advice to Zimbabwean business people in terms of taking advantage of the cordial relations between us and Oman?
I think one probably not a problem, the Zimbabweans do not invest in other countries. They invite investors here. And it makes sense, generally. So Oman tried to get us, can you get people from Zimbabwe to invest in Oman? I haven't had anyone here who wants to invest in Oman. They say, no, we welcome investors, we need investors. So that is a bit of an issue. It would be a one-way street. Like the people from Dubai, UAE are coming here. They're coming here, they are going to invest here. I'm not aware of any Zimbabwean company that's investing in UAE or Saudi Arabia, unless I'm mistaken. It's a one-way street. We need investors here. We're not in a position yet to invest outside. I'm talking generally. There may be, the odd case here and there, but generally it's like that.
And what about taking advantage of markets in Oman? I mean, you have talked of the difficulties with the transportation, but you can talk of air freight, for example. That there are certain products that could be air freighted to Oman.
It can be done. One thing I don't understand about our people here. In Oman, they bring beef and so on from Australia. That's a long way, Australia to Oman. You look, transportation there, it must be high, and yet they can sell to Oman. I know beef in Zimbabwe is top class. I'm one of those, I've lived in many countries, and I love beef. The best beef I ever had was in Kenya, South Africa, and here, because the cattle generally are grass-fed. Because I own a ranch as well. In quite a few countries, they are fed with special food to fatten them. That has an effect on the meat. So, to me, the best meat, Zimbabwe, South Africa, Australia, Australia also, Brazil, and Texas, some places in the United States where the cattle is also grass-fed. I've had steak in some countries in Europe. It doesn't taste the same. I can tell the difference. It's well prepared, it looks very nice, but the taste is different.
You talk about having a ranch. What other businesses do you run in Zimbabwe?
Well, basically, inland catering, in-flight catering. And this is something that I find very painful. 20 years ago, I used to employ about roughly 700 people. We used to make a few thousand meals a day. 17 airlines were coming here. Sanctions were imposed in Zimbabwe. Airlines stopped coming. Our income went right down. I was told you cannot close this company because for security reasons. There are other reasons. You have to do whatever you need to do, but keep it going. I had to retrench 500 people. You know how tough that is? Some of them have been out for years, but completely out of our heads. Now, this is unintended consequence of sanctions, because I'm sure when they imposed sanctions, it was on government. But down the line, there are people who also suffer. There are people who are supplying us with material. They also have a problem. And this is just one company. Slowly the sanctions, they'll be removed, but it takes time for the climate to change. And fortunately, He has gone out of his way to promote Zimbabwe. Friends to everybody and enemies to none. It will get through eventually. Most of the sanctions have been removed, but there's still some left. It should be removed totally. But for me to see my people, 500 of them suffer because nothing to do with the political problems, and people were preparing me to suffer as a result. This is not what the West wanted, but this is what happens.
But now we are seeing an upsurge in airlines coming to Zimbabwe. That should be good news for your business.
It is good news, but we have two issues here. One, our infrastructure. Remember 20 years ago, Ketacraft was one of the top 4 in-flight catering companies. British Airways, until 20 years ago, we got a thank for British Airways congratulating us. Yeah, international passengers, North America, South America, for them to nominate the best catering company. Africa, the Middle East, another company. Europe, another company, and the Far East, another company, 4. Africa and the Middle East, Ketacraft. So one of the top 4. We have really good professional people here. And then sanctions come, and it's economic history. It's painful, but happens. So we have very good people, and we'll continue. They're slowly coming back. Our in-flight kitchen needs to be renovated. It's old. And the government is doing something about it, but it's a question of funding and so on. But it's on track to replenish it. And then the airport at Big Falls, for some reason, when it was built, international airport, it was supposed to be the hub of the region. Yet, the airport was designed without an in-flight kitchen. When we went there, and we asked where the in-flight kitchen, they said it wasn't built. So why not? International airports often in-flight kitchens, so why not here? It's a long story, but now the government is working on it to build an in-flight kitchen. And then the airlines now mostly they take food from the sun. The sun is benefit. Although some of the airlines are stuck here. They're getting foreign currency, good employment, we are the ones who are suffering here. 700 people, it's a lot of people for just one company. And if you take their wives and family and children, look at all the 3,000 people that you've suffered. It's a tough one. We continue. One thing, I never give up. Never.
That's good to hear. We are talking to an entrepreneur, philanthropist, and the Honorary Consul of the Sultanate of Oman in Zimbabwe, His Excellency Kamal Khalfan. We will be back in the second segment talking to him again. At this point, we want to take a commercial break. Water is life in whatever form of storage. Bone Water helps you beat El Nino effects with a perfectly drilled borehole by a team with more than 10 years of experience in the business. Our motto, Mvura Ipapo Ipapo, demonstrates this. With 3 state-of-the-art rigs, Bone Water is able to attend to your drilling requirements within 2 days of booking. A dedicated team of technicians ensures they leave water freely flowing into a borehole. Bone Water, Mvura Ipapo Ipapo. Contact us today on 0771 366 672 or 0773 043 295. Lovemore Banda live with entrepreneur, philanthropist, and the Honorary Consul of the Sultanate of Oman in Zimbabwe, His Excellency Kamal Khalfan. And we want to say thank you very much to 4 May, the home of bespoke suits in Zimbabwe, where men are transformed into gentlemen. 4 May for clothing the presenter. Thank you very much. Your Excellency, we have been talking about your business in Zimbabwe. You talked about the catering, Ketacraft. You have briefly talked about the ranching. Tell us more about the agricultural activity.
I grew roughly about 150 hectares of tobacco, and just over 100 hectares of wheat. I used to grow more than that, but we have so much power cuts and center people's irrigation using diesel costs a lot of money. So because of the constant power cuts, we cut down. I wanted to increase, in fact I was asked to increase to at least 300 hectares. But economically, right now sometimes the whole day there's no power. It comes on maybe 10 o'clock at night, the full power out, and then switches off. Water is not a problem. We've got 2 dams on the other side. We have plenty of water. But economically, using diesel is very difficult. But we'll continue, and hopefully it will change. But these power cuts are a problem for us. Although we hear, oh, it will change, but I'm talking from reality. You see the constant power cuts in our area anyway. For changing.
What about solar?
Solar will be a problem. If we put solar panels, we'll have to put guards. Otherwise, they'll disappear. We have a fair amount of theft, unfortunately. And just think, my farm is 5,000 hectares. If we put solar, right now I have about 18 armed guards to protect the rhinos because I have private game park control. That costs a lot of money. If we put solar panels, we'll have to put guards 24 hours a day to look after these panels or they'll disappear. You know, unfortunately, it's like that. I'm not trying to be negative about it, but I'm trying to be realistic. Even here, some of the solar panels are destroyed. That's how it goes. Maybe we'll see. We can have solar panels at the main house, but then we've got a long way, a few kilometers to go to where the farms are. Then we've got to put piping and so on. That also is going to cost a lot of money. It is something that we may have to consider if we were to improve on our inputs.
You talked about rhinos. What other game do you have?
I have rhinos, I have giraffe, buffalo, kudu, eland, zebra, impala.
Lions?
No lions, no, because they'll eat my animal. But I don't allow hunting there at all. I look after the animals, and we're in very good relationship with Parks and Wildlife. We've had problems with poaching. Even one time, one of my rhinos was poached. Even though we had security guards, I put a big bonus for information. Within 24 hours, information came that one of the poachers was one of my guards.
Inside job.
Inside job. There were 6 altogether. 4 of them were caught and they were 14 years each. But the rhino was gone. The police managed to get the rhino horn, which Parks and Wildlife took. Before that, one of the guards was shot by poachers, and I happened to be there. This is very, very painful. One guard came running to my house. I got a house a bit on the lake. He said, my friend was shot. I said, what was he shot? He said, we were walking and we saw 4 people in the game park. And he challenged them and he shot me and they ran away. So I got into the car with him, went straight to where he was, and he was lying on the ground. And I could see 3 bullet holes in him. So I took him in the car and went to Marondera. And sometimes having friends does help. In Marondera at that time, they will not take anybody unless you pay cash in advance. You know those old days? Yeah. They want cash in advance. So cash, this is Sunday, I don't need money. They said, sorry, these are the regulations. And then one of the managers from FBC, MNB, good friend of mine, just Sunday. I said, look, it's a woman, manager, I need money. I gave her the story. Can you bring the money? Otherwise, the doctors won't touch him. And this I find very, very difficult to accept. A doctor won't touch somebody with short leads unless get paid in advance. And that was the case in those days. She said, don't run it. She left her home, went to the bank, drew the money, and drove all the way to Marondera. and she gave me the money and I paid. But the man died the following day. So it is poaching and stealing is a constant thing. I have problems with my cattle, so-called cat, breaking into fence, and they go to the next neighbors and they destroy their meals. But it only happens when there's drought. When there's a good crop, cattle don't break. Because there's a good crop, they make money out of there. But when there's a very bad crop and there's no money to make, somehow the cattle break the fences and they go in. We have another case right now. But the police at one time said, don't pay any attention, so we know what they're like. When I say they're not all of them, they are honest people, of course. But who is honest, who is not honest, sometimes they get it. They are good farmers, not all.
With those enterprises, the wildlife, the agriculture, cattle-craft, you must be worth a bit. What's your net worth?
I have no idea. It's not that much. Just because I dress like this doesn't mean that some of these clothes I've had them for the last 20 years, so don't worry.
But how can you be away for 6 weeks? Yeah, you must have had some money.
Yes, I have income. I have from my tobacco and maize and so on. There is income coming there, on a regular basis. The income from cattle-craft is almost non-existent because of the sanctions. But I'll keep on going because I would fight. I never give up. In my life, I've found nothing comes easy. If you're waiting for someone to come to you and bring manna from heaven, you wait a long time. You won't have it. You have to go and get it.
You used to be involved in horse racing, are you?
I used to, and I used to do a lot of horse racing, and this is why in the Republic Cup I've done some horse racing. The advantage or disadvantage, a lot of people who own these horses, they gamble on horses as well. And they make a lot of money that way. I don't gamble. If I make any money, it's from my horses winning. And sometimes they win, sometimes they don't. One time I was winning almost every weekend. And then the time came, it's a cycle thing. And I just kept putting money. Then I thought, I don't need this. I just put the money down for nothing. So when the horses got old, then I took them to the farm and stopped. I continued to be the deputy chairman of the top club. I continued to be afterwards the trustee. But eventually from 1985, I resigned. But I still go there to watch the races. And this is one of the reasons I'm running the Republic Cup. I've done a lot of travel in my life. I've seen rich people, I've seen poor people. Rich people, I don't care. Poor people is always affecting me when I see them, because I always think I could be there, but I am where I am. I'm lucky. I should show some appreciation of my daughter. And for a long time I was giving money to charity there. And then about 25 years ago I thought, I'm not going to keep on money to charity. I'm going to form my own charity. But how do I go about it? I have no idea, because I'm not in the business of charities. I kept on thinking, how do you run a charity? How do you run a charity? Eventually I came with an idea. I'll form an organization. Once a year I will raise the biggest horse race in Zimbabwe. But to get people to come, I'll ask President Mugabe to become the patron. Excellency, well, not Excellency, who is at the time in Nicaragua, Chiwega, Sekeramai, and so on. Those are trustees. When I ask my friends to donate money, when they see those trustees, they donate money. On the day of the race, they all come to the chart club and they meet up with the president. So it was a very good network. It's worked very well. For the last 25 years, except when COVID came, then we stopped. So I continue the racing, but I don't want any resources.
Talking about the game and the farm, 26 February last year, you almost died.
That, when your time comes, it comes. There are people fall down the stairs, they break their necks and die. With me, in quite a few cases, that one, what had happened, there was a lake in the middle of the game park. I built a dam wall. Before it filled up, I built a house on concrete pillars. When the dam filled up, so 80% of the house is over water. And then to go to my house, you have to go behind the dam wall over a small bridge to go to the top to the house. Then the National decided to build Chikaram Dam, which is very big, which is good. It borders my farm, and I lost some of my land, productive land, is underwater now. But it went right around, even the bridge which I built after the dam wall, during the heavy season, that is underwater. So I could not drive to go to my house. And the constructor said, look, this is your responsibility. You built that dam wall, which is good, but the waters come all the way. It's your responsibility to build another bridge over this one, small one. They said, yes, you're right, because they did a lot of homework. Yes, we agree, and so on and so on. They finished the dam wall, they disappeared, we never saw them. One day, I had visitors from Oman here. I took them there, went to the house. I took them to the dam to see the animals and so on. Went round and round and round, and it was getting dark. I said, now let's go to the house. When I passed the dam wall, go down, now I could not see the bridge. I saw the water over the bridge because it was flooded. I thought that water was only maybe this much, but it was much deeper than that. I miscalculated. When I went halfway through,
the vehicle was swept over?
Yeah, swept over on the side. Fortunately, my window was open. The window sunroof was open, so I got out, and my friend and his wife would go out through the sunroof, and we survived. It's one of those things.
It must have been a terrifying experience.
Oh yeah, it happened.
Philanthropy, this charity, what other charities do you?
That one, and I'm the chairman of the Republic Cup. The president is the patron. With General Chiwenga, we formed the Army Charity. I'm the patron, the commander of the Army is the chairman. For the Army, this is the money for the widows and orphans for the soldiers. Because people don't seem to understand. They don't see the soldiers, but they do suffer sometimes. So we raise money for widows and orphans for building schools and clinics and so on. So those are what we do. I used to be chairman of Childline also, but I resigned a long time ago because it was too much for me. 3 charities, 2 is enough.
You said you've been around, you've gone to a lot of countries. Why did you decide to settle in Zimbabwe?
It's on my history. When the government in Zanzibar was overthrown, I was studying in England. My parents lost everything. I had to go and get a job. I could not continue. Now, I was not fully qualified. The only job I could get, I was a porter. But I was a porter at Harrods, which is Harrods very famous in
The Department of Store.
Yeah, a porter. But to me, even being a porter, I was not ashamed because it was a very good job. I wasn't stealing or doing anything like that, or begging, I was working. So I worked as a porter for some time, and then I had family who gone to Kuwait. So Kamal, you can't come to Kuwait, we'll see what we can do for you. So I flew. This is the history of how I ended up in Zimbabwe. So I flew to Kuwait with my cousins. So one of them gave me a bed in his apartment. He had his mother, so I stayed there. After some time, I couldn't ask him for money. I had no money. I could not even go to have a coffee. So I got the idea the hospital at that time was short of blood positive, B plus. My blood is not O, it's B plus, which is not that rare but semi-rare. And they gave 10 quotidinas, which is about $30 for a pint of blood. So I used to go there and give a pint of blood once every 2 months. So I had $15 a month to spend. But I continued. So one time one of my cousins was an ambassador. I said, Kamal, you can't continue like that. I'll lend you money to open a garage. Because I used to race cars a long time ago. I opened a garage, and I ran the garage, I had a lot of experience. Then to cut a long story short, I met a lot of people in Kuwait. Because Oman in 1965, 66, there's nothing there. The Sultan, the troop of Caboose, he changed a lot of the country. So I met a lot of people and I made some connections, and one of them offered me a job. He said, you're a mechanic? Yes. He said, I represent a Brazilian company that makes armored cars. We just supply to Libya. But the Brazilians don't have anybody who speaks Arabic who understands Arabs. Do you want the job? I said, of course I want the job, yes. My Arabic isn't that good, but it's enough to get along. So I flew to Brazil. I was trained in the Brazilian army on the equipment. From there, then I went to France because the French were involved. I was trained in France. Then I went to Libya, and I spent 4.5 years in Libya training the officers on the armored cars. Then from there I went to England. England is a wonderful country in the summer. I cannot stand the cold. Anything below, especially 10 degrees to me. In 1980, in the 70s, when I was in Kenya, Lovemore Banda, who became the president of Zambia, was a friend of mine. He was a very good friend. I left London. I told my wife, I've had enough of England. But people are nice, very nice people. I can't stand this weather. I'll go and get a house in Kenya, because I met her in Kenya. Okay. I arrived in Kenya, I looked for a house, and then from there, Lovemore Banda said, okay, come and I want you to meet some people in Zambia, ministers. I flew to Lusaka, nothing. They said, well, the big people wanted to meet have just flown to Harare. It's just so good at the time. Let's go there. I said, Rupi, are you crazy? I just come from London. Mugabe's reign of terror. The new black Hitler. Why should I go there? I said, no, it's nothing like that at all. This is where newspapers can damage a country. Anyway, I came with him here, 1980, just after independence. When I saw the country, I was taken away.
Let's pick it up from you being taken over by Zimbabwe in 1980. We are talking to a philanthropist and entrepreneur and the Honorary Consul of the Sultanate of Oman in Zimbabwe, His Excellency Kamal Khalfan. Water is life in whatever form of storage. Bone water helps you beat El Nino effects with a perfectly drilled borehole by a team with more than 10 years of experience in the business. Our motto, Mvura Ipapo Ipapo, demonstrates this. With 3 state-of-the-art rigs, Bone Water is able to attend to your drilling requirements within 2 days of booking. A dedicated team of technicians ensures they leave water freely flowing into your borehole. Bone Water, Mvura Ipapo Ipapo. Contact us today on 0771 366 672 or 0773 043 295. It's Lovemore Banda Live. We are talking to an entrepreneur, philanthropist, and the Honorary Consul of the Sultanate of Oman in Zimbabwe, His Excellency Kamal Khalfan. You said 1980 you came to Zimbabwe. Let's pick it up from there.
Lovemore Banda convinced me to come here. He said, I have a very good friend in Salisbury. I mentioned so because it was Salisbury before it became Harare in 1980. See the Sekeramai? He said, see the Sekeramai and I and him. was studying in Sweden together. He's a very good friend of mine. He will meet us at the airport. It's completely safe, don't worry. So we flew here, we landed at the airport, the citizen Kamal was there, met. Said, the people wanted to meet had just gone to Bulawayo. So I said, we have a few hours, then we just drive around the city and see what's right. When we drove around, I was absolutely taken over by the beauty of this country. So then I spoke to Kamal, I said, I think I've decided to come and live here. He said, what's wrong? Just go to immigration, any problem, come and tell me. I went to immigration, there was a Jewish woman there called Miss Ibami. You remember? I went and said, I want to apply for residency. She looked at me, she excused me. I said, I want to apply for residency. He said, I thought I had it correct. He said, people are leaving the country. You're the first one who's come who wants to. He said, of course, here, sign it. You got residency. So that's what happened. Soon after that, I met Nagawa. He was the chairman of the Joint High Command, and Security. I met Dr. Rex Longo, Somo Mujuru. I met Big Patrol, Chwenga. He was a junior officer in the army at that time because he rose up very quickly. I met a lot of other people who were ministers, but unfortunately, over a period of time, they all passed away. So the only people from 1980 were still left. His Excellency, the Honorable Vice President, and Secretary. The rest are gone, unfortunately.
You celebrated your birthday 2 months ago, and some people are not keen on sharing their age. I hope you're not one of them.
I plead a short memory, I can't remember.
A birthday is a good time to reflect on life. How has been the ride so far?
No, it's very good. I'm very happy. The advantage of being involved in charity and to see how the other people live, you don't complain. Because you always think, I could be there. I'm not. If I have problems here, these problems are minuscule compared to what, when you see these children without arms, without legs, mentally handicapped. I could have been one of those, so could you. But I'm here, so when I compare that subconsciously, I don't complain too much. But I'm not saying I don't have problems, of course, there are problems that I can handle.
Any regrets looking over the years, something that you say, if I could go back to this year, I would do this differently?
Not really. My faith in this country, because I'm involved, I'm a diplomat, not a politician. There's a difference between the two. My faith in this country is when I met Mnangagwa in 1980, and Chiwenga, and Mujuru, they were so straight, so honest. They told me a little bit about their suffering in the liberation war and what went through. In the 40 years, 44 years, Solomon Mujuru is gone now. His Excellency reached the top. I've seen him grow up. My respect for him is 100%. The love for his people, I have absolutely no worries whatsoever. Mnangagwa, Chwenga also, I could not doubt at all. It's not a compliment. Because sometimes you sit and you drink socially and so you talk about each other and so on. So I've learned a lot. I'm comfortable here. Unfortunately, the downside, one is the president, one is the vice president, you can't see them like you could before. You can't just go to State House. You have to make an appointment in advance and so on. But that is the price of being the head of state.
Family. Your family in Zimbabwe, who is here?
I have my wife here and daughter. She's 12 years old. I have another daughter. She's 45 or so here. One daughter lives in Oman she was divorced with her son at my house. I have another daughter also divorced with her children living in England. Then my son also lives in England. But here, it's just me. My other daughter was here. She's married for 3 children here. But another house to come. So that's where now my daughter's 12 years old, still young, and I hope I'll be around for a long time to look after her.
And then give you over in marriage.
Yeah.
In terms of your family, the Kamal and the Khalfan family,
My parents are both gone.
Any brothers, any sisters?
I have an elder sister, she passed away. My younger sister lives in England, but her health is very poor. And I've told her to come here or go to Oman. She said, no, I'll remain in England because the national service, health service, they look after her. She said, I won't get the same service in Zimbabwe or in Oman. I prefer to stay in England. So that was her choice.
You must tell him that Sister Brothers came here for health reasons. Your Excellency, going forward, we wish you many more years. What would you like to do? What are you looking at? What's on your mind? Any projects that you feel, look, I must do this?
No, I think just continue what I want to do is look after Catercraft to revive it. The 500 people that I have retrenched, that has been one of the most painful periods of my life. People have been working there for years and years, and then they ring me, they don't have money to pay for the school fees of the children, for food, but there's nothing to do about it. And they are honest people, they are good people. They put this African country one of the top 4 in the world. And that is one area I would like to see them. Financially, when they do it to me, but I'd like to see them retrenched and the business to go. But it's out of my hands. Let's wait and see.
Your Excellency, thank you very much for finding time to talk to us. We were talking to an entrepreneur, a philanthropist. He's into various projects in Zimbabwe. He's also the Honorary Consul of the Sultanate of Oman in Zimbabwe. His Excellency Kamal Khalfan. It was good to have you along. We wish you all the best all the time.
Thank you very much. I'm honored by your presence. I hope I see you again.
Certainly.
Aya, 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 what a